Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of Unit 1. I'm Professor Sarah. In this video, we're going to learn the important grammar points that will need to be successful in Unit 1. So, let's get started. As you know, the title of this unit is What Are You Watching? In the last video, we learned 16 important vocabulary words that we can use to talk about TV shows and movies. Now, let's take a look at what we're going to do today. Today, let's practice present simple and present continuous and learn adverbs of manner. Some of these things may be familiar to you, or you may know them already. So this might just be a quick review for you. But if you see that some of these things are a little difficult, make sure to pay extra close attention. Let's go ahead and start talking about some grammar. Let's begin by talking about the present continuous tense. You may be wondering, what is the present continuous tense? If we look at that term, present continuous, it can be a little difficult to understand. Let's look at that word, continuous. The word continuous has the word continue in it. Continue means to keep going. For example, please continue watching. Please continue listening to this video. So if the present is now and continuous means keep going, let's put that together. Present continuous is used when we talk about things that are happening now. So they're happening in the present right now, and they will continue. Let's go ahead and look at some examples of sentences that use the present continuous tense. We can answer the question, what are you doing now, with sentences that use the present continuous tense. Because remember, present continuous is used to talk about things happening now. They're happening in the present, now, and they will continue. So let's answer this question with the present continuous tense. What are you doing now? I am teaching. You are watching this video. We are using English. Take a look at those sentences. What do you notice? What do you notice about the verbs in that sentence? We have verbs like teach, watch, and use. But how did we change them in this present continuous tense? Present continuous sentences are written like this. Subject, be, verb plus ing. The verb be changes to is, am, and are. And the next verb, we add ing. That's why we see teaching, watching, and using. Let's look at these sentences with these colors. I, the subject, am, be, teaching, verb plus ing. You are watching this video. There we see that you is our subject, are is the right form of be, and watching is the verb watch plus ing. We are using English. There, our subject is we, be is the correct form of are, and then we have the verb use plus ing, using. These are some basic present continuous sentences. Let's have a look at this chart. This is a simple way to remember how to write present continuous sentences or how to say them. We have our subjects, I, you, we, they, he, she, and it. Be, am is an are. And then we would add a verb plus ing and the rest of any given sentence. I am listening. You are watching this video. He is watching TV. We can also add the word not to make the sentence negative, and this is where we would add it. I am not watching a movie. You are not eating breakfast. So simply we add the word not after be if we want to make that sentence negative. For example, he is not listening to music. They are not watching a drama. We aren't acting in the movie. So we still see what we saw in our basic present continuous sentences, subject, be, and ing, but now we're adding not before the verb, between be and our ing verb. He is not listening. They are not watching. We aren't acting in the movie. Now that we have looked at how to make some simple present continuous sentences in the positive and negative, I am watching, I am not watching, what if we want to make questions using the present continuous? If we want to make questions, all we have to do is switch our subject and be. So instead of I am, it becomes am I? Instead of you are, it's are you? And so on. So let's go ahead and look at some examples of present continuous questions. Is he listening to music? Are they watching a drama? Are we acting in the movie? Here we can see that all we did is take our subject, he, they, and we, and switch it with where we had our be, is and are. Is he? Are they? Are we? Let's get some practice. Here we're going to go ahead and fill in the blanks with the correct form of these verbs. We see number 1, this week I'm researching my favorite subject, TV. Please pause the video and take a moment to try and figure out these answers. Let's go ahead and go through them together. I'm very happy because I blank it on my own. Not do. Remember, if we want to use the present continuous with not, we would say I am not doing, or I'm not doing. Next, we have a sentence with the verb prepare, which means get ready. So how would I change I prepare to a present continuous? Remember, we need subject, be, and verb plus ing. Would I say I are preparing? I would say I am or I'm preparing. Number 4, we see Saul. And then we want to change the verb, not talk. Saul is he. We could use the subject he as well. Would we say he are not talking? He isn't talking. He is not talking to me, or he isn't talking to me. Next we see watch. He is watching, or he's watching. Make. He's making. Next we have, I'm tired right now, so I a break. I am having. And finally, we see we blank really blank this project with enjoy. Here we would say we are really enjoying this project. So that's a little quick review of how to use the present continuous tense. You may have seen it before, but it's always good to remember and practice. Speaking of practice, let's go ahead and quickly review how to use present simple. This is so common, and it's usually the first thing you learn when you're studying English. So we will not talk about it too much. We'll just do a quick review. The simple present tense is used to talk about something happening regularly or something that is always true. Here we see an example chart of the present simple or simple present tense. These are sentences like I run, you go, we study, they walk. It's important to note that the verbs do not change for I, you, we, and they in the simple present tense. I run, I walk, I sing, I talk, any verb, it doesn't change. But the verbs do change for he, she, and it. We need to add s, es, or ies to our verbs to make them correct for he, she, and it. For example, he runs, she goes, and it studies. Here is an example of a simple present tense sentence. I run every day. She studies Spanish. We watch movies together. These are sentences that are always true or that happen regularly. For example, I run every day. This is always true and it happens often. She studies Spanish. It is a fact, it is true. We watch movies together. It is a fact, it is something that's always true. In times like these, we use the simple present tense. The next important question to answer is, how do we know when to use present simple or present continuous? How do we know which one to use? Let's go ahead and look at that a little closer and do some examples so we can see which to use and when. Here we see present simple and present continuous right next to each other. Present simple is used when we talk about things happening regularly or often. So present simple is used when we use words like always, sometimes, and never. Those are called adverbs of frequency. Sometimes, usually, seldom, rarely, never, always. We use present simple. Those are words we can use to talk about things like habits. I always go for a run in the morning. We also use it with terms like every day or every week. This means it's always true. Present simple is used to talk about things that are usually true or always true. Present continuous, if you remember, is used to talk about things happening now. It's happening now and it will continue. So we might use words like now, at the moment, today, this morning, this evening, whenever now is. For example, we answered the question earlier, what are you doing now? I am teaching. You are watching this video and learning. Present continuous is used to talk about ongoing things and things happening now. So let's go ahead and complete this table with the correct form of the verb visit. Present simple. More than 3 million people blank locations for films here every year. Here, visit. More than 3 million people visit every year. And we use present simple because it's every year, it's always true. Present continuous. Today I blank a film workshop with my media studies class. Today, it's happening now, so we'd say today I am visiting a film workshop with my media studies class. Now let's get some practice using present simple and present continuous. Let's see if you can figure out which one to use. So here we see a blog post, and we're going to look at the verbs and see if we can decide should we use present simple or present continuous. Like we did before, please pause the video and try to figure this out on your own before we go through it together and check the answers. Okay, did you give it a try? Let's go ahead and look at this together. Number 1, media studies is my favorite subject at school. It's something that's always true, so it is my favorite subject. I blank it. Do I say I love it? I always love it? Or do I only love it now? I would say I love it. This week we blank the history of film. So it's happening this week. It's happening now. So do we use present simple or present continuous? We would use present continuous. This week, happening now. We are studying the history of film. We blank all about talkies, CGI, and lots more. So again, we're still talking about now, so we are learning all about. It's happening this week, it's happening now. I blank much about it. Would we say I am not knowing or I don't know? Here we would use simple present. I do not know much about it. Because it's true, it's always true. It's not just about this second right now. It blank a long time and a lot of people to make a film. So am I talking about a fact or am I talking about people making a movie now? I am talking about a fact, so I'd say it takes. Number 7. Sorry, time to go. My little brother blank a lot of noise downstairs. Okay, so you're writing, oh, I have to go because now my little brother, would I say makes or is making? It's happening now, so I would say is making. I think he blank his favorite comedy with my mom and dad. Still happening now, so is watching. They all blank it and they always blank a lot. See that word always? So we want to use the simple present. They all love it and they always laugh a lot. This is always true. What blank you blank at school this week? This week, now, so the question, what are you doing at school this week? You're going to get some more practice choosing between simple present and present continuous on your homework. Finally, our last grammar point today is adverbs of manner. First, let's review. What is an adverb? Adverbs are words that modify or change the meaning of adjectives and adverbs. Here are some sentences that have no adverb. I run. You sing. He is talking. Now let's add an adverb to those sentences and see how it changes. I run quickly. Here, quickly is our adverb, so it shows you a little more information about run. I run, or I run quickly. It changes the meaning of our verb run. You sing. Let's add an adverb. You sing beautifully. If I say, you sing, it's just a fact. Ah, you sing. If I say you sing beautifully, I give more information about sing. Finally, he's talking. He's talking quietly. If you are talking, we would just say he's talking. Adding the adverb quietly shows us how he is talking. Adverbs of manner give us more information. They tell us how something happens, and they are usually after the verb or after the object. Let's look at a few examples. He swims well. Here we see our adverb is after the verb swim. He ran quickly. Again, we see the adverb is after the verb. He ran quickly. She spoke softly. Again, it comes after the verb. James coughed loudly to get her attention. Again, the adverb comes after the verb cough. So usually we see adverbs after the verb. He plays the flute beautifully. Here we see it after the object, flute. Plays the flute is a phrase that needs to stay together. We would not say he plays beautifully the flute. We'd say he plays the flute beautifully, because plays the flute is a whole phrase. Let's look at some common adverbs of manner. You will be able to see these in your book. Quiet becomes quietly. Clear becomes clearly. Happy becomes happily. Loud becomes loudly. And nice, can you guess? Becomes nicely. So what we can see is with many of these, we are just adding ly. And in the case of happy, because it ends in y, we add ily. This is true for many adverbs and is a good rule to follow. However, not every adverb works the same way. Let's look at some irregular examples. Hard. For example, I work hard. Well, that would just stay hard. Fast. Would I say you run fast or you run fastly? Fast would also stay the same. And finally, good. We saw it in an example earlier. You swim well. So these are some adjectives that can not just add ly and become an adverb. Why is it important to remember this? Here's an example of a sentence with an adverb. I am working hard. And there you see the meaning. I am working hard. You are working hard, right? That is correct. If I said I am hardly working, oh, not correct, right? Very different meaning. So be careful with these exceptions. Okay, now that we have covered our big important grammar points for the day, let's go ahead and practice putting them all together. Here you are going to make some questions. Use the present simple or present continuous and the adverb in the bracket. Let's go ahead and go through this together. In number 1, we see the word always. An adverb of frequency like this, always, sometimes, never, means we use present simple. So, do you always make friends? And then our adverb, easy, becomes easily. Number 2, you speak English today, and the adverb is good. We see the word today. Today means now, so we want to use present continuous, that ing, right? So how could we make a sentence? You are, if we want to make it a question, are you? Speak becomes speaking. And do you remember what's the adverb form of good? It would be well. Are you speaking English well today? Number 3, your math teacher explain everything clear. Okay, so I'm asking about everything, which means it's not just now, it's all of something. So is it always true? We want to use present simple. And remember, clear becomes clearly. So, does your math teacher explain everything clearly? Finally, let's look at number 4. You work this term, and our adverb is hard. So we see this term. We could also say this semester, which means now. So we want to use the present continuous. And just like in number 2, you became are you, speak became speaking, how do you think number 4 will be? We have you, so it will become are you. Work will become working. And here our adverb hard, remember, hard stays the same. It's not working hardly, it's working hard. So we would say, are you working hard this term? Let's do one final activity and fill in the blanks in some sentences with our present simple, present continuous, and adverbs of manner. Let's look at these 5 words that were used in the grammar points today and see if we can match them into these sentences about movies and TV shows. Number 1, I am blank a documentary. Would I say I am watch or I am watching? Here we would want to say I am watching, because anytime we use be, we want to add ing for our present continuous. I am watching a documentary. The director made the film blank. There are 2 words we could use here, but we want to use an adverb. The director made the film well. And just like when we had he plays the flute beautifully, here we'd want our adverb to come after that phrase. He made the film. How did he make the film? Well. I blank comedy shows often. Here we see often, which is an adverb of frequency, always, sometimes, never. So we would use present simple. I watch. Number 4, he is speaking blank in this movie. I can't hear him. He is speaking quietly. Here we see our adverb came after our verb, speaking. How is he speaking? He is speaking quietly. Finally, the costume was designed beautifully, again coming after our verb. Okay, everyone, that's it for the grammar lesson for this unit. Please check eClass for assignments, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.